When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings. You're watching SeptumSin vs. the World. I'm SeptumSin. Now, I'm here to post something special on the channel. As many of you know, we partner with Inside Movies Galore, or, as seen on Facebook, Movies Galore of Milwaukee. This is a great organization that discusses movies in our weekly hangouts. We all take our varied backgrounds and we put our minds together to come up with something more interesting than your casual movie discussion. Of course, that's not the only thing that you're going to find on the Inside Movies Galore YouTube channel. Of course, if you go to the Facebook, you will find a nice, just a nice assortment of written reviews. And, of course, I have a special treat for you today. Of course, you can find the original of this particular review on his Movies Galore YouTube channel. Please give him a view. Let him know that SeptumSin has sent you. Any case, for your viewing pleasure, here is the review of Tideland.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Streggy. And before I get into my review of Terry Gilliam's Tideland, I wanted to show you kind of how I got a copy of it. Evidently, in 1986, there was a video rental store that was opened to the public, and up until about 5 years ago, it ran and video rental sales, cleaned your discs, did a bunch of services, and it was called Lomira Video, which was owned and operated by Jim Goff, which it turns out that one of my friends from high school married a young lady by the name of Stephanie Herring, and her uncle was Jim Goff. And what he did is he covered the DVDs with these kind of papers, and I'm sure you can see it. He definitely offered a ton of services. So, I mean, I know that says "Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins," but you can see that I have Tideland here, which is the 2-disc, and if I open it up here, you can see that it's numbered, and you can see that he definitely kept very good care of his discs. So, but going into the movie itself, if you don't know anything about Terry Gilliam, he directed, he directed Monty Python's and the Holy Grail. He directed films such as Jabberwocky and Time Bandits. But in 2005, he directed a film called Tideland, and it's very weird and strange. So you have young Jodie Ferland, who she plays a young girl by the name of Jaleesa Rose, and she voices a few of the dolls in there, and I'll get to that. But we also have Jeff Bridges, who plays her father, and Jennifer Tilly, a very young Jennifer Tilly, who goes by the name of Queen Gunhilda. And Jeff Bridges plays a character by the name of Noah. Now, Noah and Queen Gunhilda are needle addicts. They basically get together and they strap rubber band around their wrists and they get high together. And they basically have Jaleesa Rose do all this for them, and it's kind of a weird relationship. I mean, I'm sure that if the general public knew about it, that she would have been shucked to some kind of a child services kind of thing, and it just didn't happen that way. And when Queen Gunhilda, she ended up going into some kind of an arrest and died. Noah takes his youngest back to his hometown, where apparently he had been married at one time to a woman by the name of Dell, who was played by Janet McTeer. Now, Janet McTeer and another character played by Brendan Fletcher, by the name of Dickens, ends up having some kind of mental retardation, and he believes that there is a monster shark. And when Jaleesa Rose comes to live in the home with her father, he shoots up one more time and dies, and she doesn't realize that, and she goes into some kind of a fantasy realm with her dolls. And so ultimately the character of Dell comes over, sews up some of her dolls that have seem to have voices, and Dickens and Jaleesa Rose kind of end up bonding together, and ultimately it's like they experience their own imagination together. And ultimately there is kind of a thing going on where there's a train that kind of goes by the area, and so he steals these shotgun shells from Dell, and he puts them on the railroad tracks, and he thinks that the train is like this monster shark. So in the end, ultimately, we don't exactly figure out exactly what goes on with Dickens. But going and speaking about the where Dickens and Dell actually live, apparently they believe that his mother or her mother will eventually wake up. And I believe that Dell was actually the wife that Jeff Bridges' character Noah had actually once left behind. So that relationship is kind of rocky, and she's always trying to kill this squirrel that is running around the house that Jaleesa Rose is living in with her dead corpse of a father. And somehow Jaleesa Rose is able to speak to the squirrel on a mental level. So it's definitely kind of weird. It's definitely out there, and I'm not sure whether I entirely like it, but if you go into Terry Gilliam film and realize that you're not walking into some kind of madness, then you are stupid beyond compare. But I definitely love the craziness. It kind of reminded me of the fever dream that you see in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas kind of vibe. But you definitely see that Jeff Bridges has that Big Lebowski look, which he's had for several years now. Where later you see him in The Giver, which is another weird one, and he's He's got the same look. So evidently he's got that grungy road weary, long hair, beard, homeless looking kind of look. But in any case, if you enjoy this kind of film, then you should definitely check it out if it is up your alley or whatnot. So hopefully you enjoy my description of this film. I enjoyed watching it. It was weird. It was kind of slow in some points. So I'm not exactly sure if it was my entire cup of tea. But if you enjoy the wild and craziness of this film, then it is definitely for you. So in any case, hopefully you've enjoyed my review. Like and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll have something else more down the road in store for you. So I enjoyed at least describing the film for you. Enjoyed talking about Lomira Video, and hopefully you can remember this mom and pop shop in its own way, because I'll have some films that I will probably review from the stock that was left over that was given to Mr. Goff's young niece. In any case, I hope to have more reviews for you, and hopefully you enjoyed listening. Have a good evening.
I hope you enjoyed that review. And of course, please give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you think we should do some collaborations in the future? Or do you think, this is the end? In any case, I do hope you enjoyed it. I thought that one was particularly insightful, and I agree with many of the points in this particular review, which is, of course, why I selected it. I hope that you pay attention for further movie reviews and lovely collaborations in the future. Thank you.
Goodbye.